Is that weird to say Happy Ferragosto a few days before Ferragosto?
It's bad luck.
It's bad luck?
Cioè, you never.
Oh, good. I was about
something.
to say Happy Ferragosto. Okay, I won't say that, but in a few days, it's Ferragosto, the 15th of August, which is a really big, important holiday in Italy. And it means that basically, in the weeks, if not months surrounding it, all of Italy is on vacation.
It's shut down.
It really is. So we thought we would take the opportunity to give Eva a little break from the kitchen. But we're here today instead to talk about something that I find fascinating, something that I've had to learn quite a bit about being married to an Italian, and that is Italian superstitions. Every culture obviously has its superstitions, and it's fun being immersed in another culture where you can learn about theirs. So we thought we'd talk about some of them today. The only maybe problem is that there's some disagreement between us about whether some of these are superstitions or scientific fact.
Arpia, maybe we can call them life hacks.
Life hacks? These are legitimate tips?
To make your life better.
As we go through, leave a comment down below if you know any funny or crazy superstitions, or facts. Before we begin, because we are going to be bringing quite a bit of bad luck upon us today by talking about all these things, we have some good luck charms. Some of them are pretty universal, I think. We have the classic horseshoe. That's pretty familiar to me. We have the same thing, you hang it over a door or whatever.
Sì, because you hang, this is what we call in Italy ferro di cavallo. Ferro di cavallo is something that if you have at home, it should send away the bad luck and bring inside of your home happiness, good luck, and all the good stuff.
I have no idea where this came from. If anyone knows why the horseshoe is good luck, let us know. Some good luck charms are not familiar to me or weren't familiar to me, including this one. Do you want to talk about this charm?
Okay, the first thing that here we need to point out is the color, because in the Italian culture, the red color is a sign of good luck. For example, if you think New Year's Eve is mandatory to wear something red. Now, red doesn't work just for New Year's Eve, but works also all year around. And most it works if inside a red bag there is, wait.
You don't really need to pull it out.
No, it's like I want to show that actually there is some salt. A red bag with some salt is a sign of attracting good luck.
So you put it somewhere.
You can put somewhere hidden at home. Or let's say that if you want always to have the good luck with you, what you need to do is take a small bag, but very small, and attach to your underwear.
Or put it in your car.
Or if you buy a new brand car, what you need to do is take a bag, put some salt, a red bag, put some salt, and hide in your car.
Do you want to tell the story about how your dad got in trouble with that?
He bought a new brand car some years ago, so my mom, just to wish him and the car good luck, put a bag of salt in the car. One day when he was going to work, the policeman stopped him, because in Italy it's normal that someone stops you, and they start to check in the car. So what they found was a bag, so they asked to my
white powder.
So they asked my dad what it was. Now, my dad, who is a funny person, said that he didn't know. The policeman thought that it was the moment, because it was a white powder. It's like it was right to open and try what it was. So he opened, he tried, and he said, but this is salt. And I said, ah yes, now I remember. My wife put some salt because this car is new.
My personal favorite, and one that I always have on me, is, can you see it? This little thing that looks kind of like a pepper. It's not a pepper.
No.
It's called the corno, right?
It's a corno, it's an horno.
Yeah, it dates back to ancient times where it was originally a phallic symbol of good luck and prosperity. If you've ever been to the, what is it called? Like the secret room in the Museum of Naples, you're very familiar. And then, you know, the Catholic Church sort of frowned upon that, so it sort of turned into an animal horn, and now it kind of looks like a pepper, but it's not a pepper, and you see them everywhere in Naples, and it's a good luck charm. But, very important, the good luck doesn't work if you buy it for yourself. It has to be a gift that someone gives to you. So Eva got me this one. Actually, no, I wanted one, and so I said, Eva, can you buy me one so that it's a gift? It works.
See, until now you can't complain.
Also, every Italian knows that if you want your house to be blessed with good luck, then you need to keep somewhere in your house a copy of the Italian family kitchen. I mean, that one I agree with you. That's scientific fact.
See, also because with this, you are sure that you keep away from your home all the bad food that can be around.
Okay, let's get started with the superstitions. I would like to begin with some of the first superstitions that I immediately encountered when you and I first started dating, and I started visiting you and your family in Calabria. The very first one, I think it was my first day there in Dassa, and I went into the bathroom and I took a shower. Now, sometimes I dry my hair with a hair dryer, but often not. And I just walked out of the bathroom, wet hair, and your parents who were right outside, they just like gasped. And I swear they like pushed me back into the bathroom, and I couldn't understand what they were saying. You were like shouting over them, translating, like, you need to dry your hair. And they would not let me come out until my hair was bone dry.
See, Albert, because everyone knows that wet hair makes you sick. It's like...
Keep in mind that it's not like I was walking outside into below zero temperatures or something. I was still inside in a heated home. I still get this, even when we're in Dassa and I walk outside, and like last summer, there was just a crazy record-breaking heat wave. It was like 100 degrees. And if I walked outside with even the slightly damp hair, people would be like, what are you doing? You're gonna get sick.
See, because wet hair makes you sick is a fact. Once it happened to me, the first time that I came to Maine to visit you, and I went to an see. It was a freezing day in Maine. They cut my hair, they do what they had to do, but they didn't dry my hair. And I remember that as soon as I was out of there, I called my mom and said, Mom, they're crazy. They sent me out of this hair salon with my wet hair. I'm running home to try to dry that. See, because
I don't remember you getting sick.
No, because I ran home to dry my hair.
Wow.
I put on a hat and I ran home to dry my hair because I was scared to get sick.
Another similar one that I encountered on my first trip to Calabria was, you know, if I'm just at home or something, it's not unusual for me to like walk around in bare feet. I feel like that's pretty normal. You're just hanging out at home. You don't necessarily wear shoes. But I had been staying with them for a little while, and I made the egregious mistake of walking downstairs in bare feet. And Ava's dad was just like, oh my gosh, he has bare feet. What is he doing? And I was really embarrassed at first. I was worried. I thought that maybe they were like grossed out by my bare feet, or, you know, some people prefer people to wear shoes in their house. So I was like just kind of embarrassed, and I felt bad. And then it wasn't until I went and hurriedly put on some shoes and stuff that you told me, no, if you walk around in bare feet, you'll get sick.
See, because if
Are you noticing a pattern here?
Take out your shoes and put a slipper, but don't walk bare feet, because it's the only thing that you can do on a beach, not at home.
It was not cold. Again, it was in a heated home.
It doesn't matter.
My feet were not cold.
It doesn't matter, worse, because it was winter.
But the house was warm.
It doesn't matter.
My feet don't know that it's winter. Speaking of, another thing that will make you sick. Eva, what is an appliance that is very common in America and in other places that is sure to make you sick?
The air conditioning. The air conditioning is one of the worst enemies that you can encounter in your life. Because I understand that if it's a very hot day, it can be comfortable to arrive at home, it's a little bit cooler, but until a certain point, where it starts to be freezing inside, the air conditioning makes you sick. And then having all this fan always on you is something that you can't understand how bad Italian can react.
We live in southern Arizona. This is a battle, a war that has been raging for years. Now, while I don't believe for even a millisecond that air conditioning will make you sick, I have learned that there is some truth to the Italian skepticism about air conditioning, and it has to do with food. Eva always told me that you shouldn't have like air conditioning on if you're cooking, especially things like pasta, and I was always really skeptical. But there was one day when we were at our place in Dasa, at the Locanda, and again, this was during this enormous heat wave. So it was like 100 degrees, really, really hot. And I'm sorry, but I insisted. I'm like, we need to install air conditioning. I had it on one day when we were going to make pasta with the Spice Girls. Always a fun time. And so they start making the pasta, and they didn't realize that the air conditioning was on. And sure enough, the pasta just completely didn't work. The dough dried out, it got totally messed up. They were trying to understand what was going on, and then they look over and they realize, they're like, is that on? I'm like, yes. It is totally, totally true. If you're making doughs and stuff like that, you do not want air conditioning blowing on you.
Also, you don't want the air conditioning blowing on your neck. Then we don't talk.
Why don't you want it blowing on your neck?
No, because then you have the cervicale.
The what?
Cervicale. The problem that you have at the back of your head when you get older and older.
Air conditioning, folks.
See.
It's a killer. It's not just air conditioning, though. Actually, the superstition is a little bit more broad because the wind itself will cause every tragedy in your life.
You can't understand, if you are not Italian, how dangerous is the wind. It's like when there is the wind, most of the Italians, they stay at home because the wind is proved to make you sick.
Oh, it's proven? Really?
See, it doesn't matter. Okay, the only wind that we accept is actually the wind from Africa, the Scirocco, because it's a very hot wind, so it doesn't make you sick. But all the rest of the wind is terrible.
I have heard every single kind of malady blamed on the wind. If you go outside and it's windy, even if it's hot outside, if it's windy, you have to bundle up in a coat. God forbid if you have bare arms or something.
This has a name, Harper. It's the very famous, at least in Italy, Colpo D'Aria. You can have the cold, you can have the cough, you can have problem with your breath system because maybe you had a colpo d'aria.
You can catch the flu because of the wind. So the last time we went to Italy, we first flew into Rome, spent a few days there, and then went down to Calabria. And Rome, it was like a really busy weekend. It was packed. And I caught a little minor flu. Ava thinks it's because I didn't dry my hair, but I think it's the mobs of tourists I was packed in around.
But I was okay, I was fine.
Now, we had to head down to Calabria while I was still sick, and in Calabria, our niece, who isn't really related to us, but she's like our niece, Caterina, she was really excited to see us. We were excited to see her. But when we arrived, I had to tell her, I'm like, oh, Caterina, like, you gotta stay away. I'm sick. Like, you gotta keep your distance. I don't wanna get you sick. But she's a stubborn Calabrian, and so she basically wouldn't leave my side. And what do you know? she got the flu too. She got sick. She had what I had. She had a fever for a little while, bad sore throat, and I felt so bad. And as I was recovering, I went to her mom and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry I got Katarina sick. I feel really bad. And this woman looked at me with complete seriousness and she said, it's not your fault. You didn't get her sick. The other day, she was playing outside while it was windy without a jacket on. That's why she's sick.
But it's real, everyone knows. That's
It worked
why.
in my favor. I evaded all blame for getting poor little Katarina sick. All right, now that we've covered all the things that'll make you sick, let's move on to some food-related superstitions.
And one of those is related with olive oil, because everyone knows that if you drop a bottle of olive oil and it breaks, is one of the worst things that can happen to you. And what you need to do to fight against the bad luck that you are receiving because the olive oil is all on your floor, you need to take some salt and
throw it over your shoulder.
Yes.
See, we have throwing salt over your shoulder, but I think, actually, I'm not sure. I think it's just if you spill anything.
For us, it's just when you spill olive oil.
Of course, in Italy, it's olive oil related. Does it have to be your left shoulder? I think that's how it is here. Gosh, I don't even know my American superstitions well. I think you have to throw it over your left shoulder.
When in doubt, do both.
There you go.
Now, this actually has roots in the past because olive oil was always a sort of treasure. And if you spilled a bottle of olive oil, it was a loss during the past. Also today, if you are in America, it's a big loss. So, what they thought to put the salt against.
It's a tragedy. I've wasted some olive oil. Let me waste some salt now too.
See, but it was the salt, except for Tuscany, wasn't was a problem. Never a problem in Italy.
So it's just spilling olive oil that's bad luck. You don't have.
No. If you spill olive oil, you fight putting some salt to the bad luck. But if you spill wine, you are at the table and it can happen that you spill wine. There is another thing that you should do in order to send away the bad luck. And is dip your finger in the wine and touch your neck. Because this wish luck.
This all makes more sense now. Okay. Okay. Our friend Johnny in Calabria, boy, he is, I don't know how to describe him. He has more energy than like a nuclear reactor.
He is a masterpiece of humanity.
He is. On several occasions when we've had, guests come and visit and we have like these big feasts and stuff, every now and then, Johnny will suddenly lurch up and start going around the whole table with a cup of wine and just dabbing everyone. And everyone's always like, what is he doing? He's just running around dabbing everyone. And I always knew that it was like some kind of good luck charm, but I didn't realize that means that someone at the table had spilled wine.
See, usually you should do one with the wine that it's on the table.
So you spill olive oil, salt. If you spill wine, put it on your neck. Any other good food-related superstitions?
Yes, there is another one that actually is not really a superstition, like all the rest, by the way. But it happens sometimes. Okay, we know how it's very important to not waste any food, and especially in the south of Italy, the most important thing that you can't waste is bread. But it happens that maybe you have a piece of bread that you forget and you need to throw it away. Now, if you have chicken, pigs, some animal in your backyard or your country house, keep the bread and give to them. But if you don't have and you have to throw it away, before you do this, it's very important that you kiss the bread and then you put in the trash.
That one makes sense to me because bread is like the holiest food in Italy. Everyone thinks Italian food, they think like pasta and pizza and stuff. No. The food of Italy is bread. And that, the expression of like your daily bread, I mean, that's how people who otherwise were dealing with starvation, that's what they had.
Because bread actually is the basic food, not just for Italians, but for a lot of cultures. Every culture has a kind of bread, and also has religious meaning, which means that it's a very important and fundamental part of your daily life.
Well, also speaking of Johnny, you know, he's told me about how when he was a kid, and food was a lot more scarce back then, his father wouldn't let him waste even a crumb of bread. So when you ate the bread, you had to eat it like over a napkin or something and collect every little crumb and eat it.
It's precious. It's like it's something that has a very big value. There is actually a piece of bread that you are not allowed to never put in the trash. And it's the piece of bread that, I don't know if it happens here in America, but in the south of Italy it happens, you receive the Thursday before the Good Friday during the Mass.
They hand out bread?
Yes, in the south of Italy they give you bread that is a blessed bread. And that bread you need to keep always in your home because your home is blessed by that piece of bread. So that...
Wait a minute. You're not meant to eat it, you're meant to keep it?
No, you eat it. But then, if it happens that you don't finish all this holy bread...
You gotta keep it for life?
See, because that you don't throw never away. It's a blessed bread.
Okay.
So, or you eat all, or you don't throw away.
There's another superstition that's kind of interesting because it is very similar to a superstition that is familiar to me, and I'm sure a lot of us, but slightly different. So here in America, the number 13 is bad luck, and especially Friday the 13th is bad luck, but it's a little different in Italy.
Yes, because in Italy the number that is bad luck is the 17, and especially the 17, Friday 17, and worse if it's March Friday 17. That is the black day. You stay at home, closed, you don't do anything because it's a very bad day. And I don't want to tell you if it happens because sometimes it can happen, and that is March 17, Friday, and it's the Good Friday. It's like...
It's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse, absolutely yes.
Well, I wonder where that came from because, okay, I don't really know if this is just sort of like an urban legend or something, but what I always heard about Friday the 13th, okay, back in the day, there was a pope, I can't remember which pope, he ordered this kind of coordinated massacre of all the Knights Templar, and they were all killed in one day. And I think it was on Friday the 13th, and that's one theory about why Friday the 13th is bad luck for us. Do you know why Friday the 17th is bad luck for you?
Actually, Harper, I don't really know. There will be an explanation for sure, but I don't really know. What I know is that if you are, I don't know, at the table for a feast and you need to sit 17 people, there are two choices in your life. Or you send a person away, so it's 16, or you find another person to invite, so it's 18.
Do you also have the thing where like some buildings, tall buildings, will not have a 17th floor? Like we often, like hotels and stuff, they won't have a 13th floor. It'll just go from 12 to 14. Of course, everyone knows that 14 is really 13, but...
Now, in Italy, we don't have really this huge...
You don't have
this
a
huge
13-story building.
Maybe there is for sure something in Milan, so I should go there and no. Maybe our Italian friends from Milan, they know if in the Pirellone, that is the highest skyscraper in Italy, there is actually the 17th floor or not. I knew that, for example, on the beloved Alitalia,
the airline?
Yes, we didn't have the 17 as the number where you sit.
Speaking of where you sit, there's another superstition that goes out to all the single ladies, or men, right?
See, it doesn't matter. If you're single and you want to get married or to find a partner, it's very important that when you sit at the table, you don't sit at the corner of the table, because this means that you will be never married with someone else. If it happens, please change the seat, but put there a person who is already married or divorced, I don't know, but as a single, don't sit there. And this is one of the superstition about getting married or not, because we have another one, and the other one is using the broom to clean the home. If someone came to you and accidentally clean your shoes,
Sweeps.
see, your feet, your foot with a broom, this means that you will be never married in your life.
That's a bizarre one.
I know, but it's proved.
How is it proven?
I don't know,
Who
but it
proved
happens
it?
that someone who was had this, he or she didn't get married.
And so now it's proven.
See,
So if you are single and you want to get married, make sure that nobody sweeps your feet.
cioè, use the vacuum. Vacuum.
Is vacuuming okay? You can vacuum
Sì,
over
sì,
your
sì,
foot?
sì.
Oh, okay, that's perfect.
Vacuum is
Yeah,
okay, the
yeah.
problem is the broom.
Yeah. The superstition hasn't been updated for the 21st century yet.
No, give us time, please. It takes time for us to catch up on the new technologies.
Okay, last but certainly not least, I want to ask you about something that I've vaguely heard about, but I don't quite understand what it is or what it means. But, you know, you hear a lot often about the idea of the evil eye.
Malocchio.
Malocchio.
In Italian it's called malocchio.
What is it exactly?
It happens that maybe someday you wake up and you don't feel great. But there isn't any specific reason why you don't feel great. You are a little bit tired, you don't want to do anything, you have a very light headache, but there isn't a specific reason. All these symptoms together are showing you that you have the malocchio, which means that someone look at you, had a very bad thoughts about you, maybe because she or he is jealous, because maybe they are, I don't know, they see you a threat.
Maybe you tried to feed them Domino's pizza.
Maybe you feel straight on a pizza, so they put on you this malocchio. But luckily in the south of Italy we have a solution for that. When you have the malocchio, you go, because every single small village in the south of Italy has at least one woman who knows how to fight the malocchio. You go to this woman who will look at you, will take a plate, put some water in the plate, and start to spill some drops of olive oil.
Does she have to throw salt over her shoulder?
No, the salt she put also on the plate.
Ah.
And while she's doing this, she's saying in a very calm voice, silent voice, a lot of prayers or formulas, magical formulas, I don't know.
Uh-huh, magic words, okay.
Magic words to send away the malocchio from you. And sometimes this malocchio is so deep in you, it's so bad, that they need to remake this thing, not just one, but 2 or 3 times. And you know what? At the end, you feel great.
Who in Dasa is the woman who
No,
knows
it's a
how-
secret.
It's a secret?
See, because you go there, cioè, we know, but we don't spread the secret. We don't reveal the secret. If you will ever need this, I will take you to the person that can do this. When I was a child...
Is it someone I know?
Everyone knows everyone in the south.
That's
It's
true.
not so difficult. When I was a child, I went several times.
You did?
See, because there wasn't an explanation.
Did it
so-
work?
Do you think that I'm in a good shape and a bad health?
Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us for this little chat about Italian superstitions. We wish only the goodest of eyes upon you.
We can't say happy holidays that is coming, but we wish you a good days ahead of you.
Before we go, a shout out to a pasta grammarian who either had some really good luck or just some really good skill in the kitchen. They made a beautiful looking pizza in teglia, which is the Italian pan pizza that we love so much.
It looks so beautiful. You did an amazing job. And let's be honest, if it happens that you have some bad luck in your day, eat a pizza, make a pizza, and for sure you will be happy for the rest of the evening.
That one I agree with you. That's not a superstition, that's fact. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
We probably couldn't film it, could we?
You don't have to see. It's not a show.
No, I want to have it done to me. Next time I'm feeling a little meh.
See,
it's
but then,
probably the evil eye.
No, it depends because we need to check if you dry your hair, you wear bare feet.
No wonder I have the Malocchio. It's like I have all these bad luck things that I do, you know?
No, but
it was windy.
No, but the Malocchio is the eye of a person and you, not the nature.